Have you ever wondered how the thrilling, adrenaline-fueled world of street racing came to be in America? Let's hit the gas and travel back to the 1930s, to Southern California, where this high-octane spectacle first sparked into life. The vast, barren expanses of dry lake beds provided the perfect playground for speed enthusiasts. Here the first street races took place, not on actual streets, but on nature's own racetracks. Now imagine the scene, the sun setting, casting long shadows over the desert landscape, and the distant roar of modified cars echoing across the empty plain. These weren't your everyday automobiles. No, these were hot rods. Cars stripped down to their bare essentials, and then built back up with bigger, more powerful engines. The goal? Pure, unadulterated speed. But it wasn't just about the thrill of the race. It was about camaraderie, the shared passion for pushing the limits of what was possible with a hunk of metal and an engine. And then, World War II came along. You might be wondering, what does a global conflict have to do with street racing? Well, the war led to an explosion in technological advancements, many of which found their way into the automotive industry. Soldiers returning home brought with them mechanical know-how and a desire for excitement, further fueling the growth of street racing in America. The 1940s and 50s saw the birth of organized drag racing, a more controlled form of the street races that had been taking place. But the spirit of those early days, the raw excitement of man and machine versus the elements, never truly faded. It simply evolved, becoming a part of the fabric of American car culture. So the seeds of street racing were sown in the winds of war, nurtured by the thrill of speed and the passion for cars. The story of street racing in America is a journey through time, a testament to the love of speed and a tribute to the men and women who dared to push the limits of the possible. It's a tale that's far from over, and one that continues to be written on the asphalt of America's streets. As the street racing seed germinated, the golden era of street racing emerged. But what defined this era? The golden era of street racing in America can be traced back to the 50s and 60s. This was a time when the country was in the grip of a post-war economic boom, and the open road beckoned to a new generation of drivers. This was the time of rock and roll, leather jackets, and the birth of a cultural phenomenon that would define a generation: the muscle car. Muscle cars were the heart and soul of the golden era of street racing. These machines, with their high-performance engines and sleek designs, were made for speed. They were not just vehicles, they were symbols of rebellion and freedom. A muscle car was more than just a way to get from point A to point B. It was a statement, a way of life. The influence of the rock and roll culture cannot be underestimated. The music was fast, loud, and rebellious, much like the street racers themselves. It provided the perfect soundtrack to the high-octane world of street racing. The rumble of a V8 engine was the rhythm, and the screech of tires on asphalt was the melody. Drag racing also exploded in popularity during this time. The thrill of a quarter-mile sprint, the roar of the engines, and the cheers of the crowd were intoxicating. It was a test of nerve and skill, a battle not just against the opponent, but also against the clock. The media played a significant role in promoting this street racing culture. Films and magazines glamorized the lifestyle, showing off the cars, the races, and the adrenaline-fueled excitement. They painted a picture of a world where the brave and the bold ruled the streets, where the fastest car was king. The golden era was truly a time when street racing culture was at its peak in America, a time of muscle and music. It was a time when the roar of a muscle car engine was the sweetest music to the ears of a generation. A time when the open road was a canvas, and a car was the brush. A time when freedom was just a quarter mile away. With the passage of time, street racing evolved dramatically. So, how does the modern era of street racing look? Strap in, as we delve into the high-octane world of contemporary street racing. One of the defining aspects of modern street racing is the advent of technology. Computer chips and electronic fuel injection systems have replaced carburetors and mechanical parts. These advancements have made cars faster, more efficient, and importantly, more customizable. Racers can now tweak their vehicles to the nth degree, squeezing out every last bit of performance to gain that crucial edge on the street. But it's not just under the hood where things have changed. The rise of import cars has dramatically altered the landscape of street racing. Gone are the days when American muscle ruled the streets. Today, Japanese imports and European tuners dominate the scene. These lightweight, highly tunable cars have brought a new dynamic to street racing, making it more accessible to a wider range of enthusiasts. And who can overlook the impact of pop culture? Movies like The Fast and the Furious and video games like Need for Speed have brought street racing into the mainstream. They've glamorized the culture, made it seem cool and exciting. Yet it's important to remember that these are fictional portrayals. The reality of street racing is far more dangerous and less glamorous. As street racing has grown in popularity, so too has the rise of underground racing. These clandestine events, held under the cover of darkness, away from the prying eyes of the law, exemplify the rebellious spirit of street racing. But they also come with increased legal consequences. Law enforcement agencies have cracked down hard on street racing, with hefty fines, imprisonment, and vehicle impoundment all potential punishments. The modern era of street racing is a blend of technology, pop culture influence, and the enduring love for speed. It's a thrilling, adrenaline-fueled world, but one that should be approached with caution. Remember, street racing isn't condoned. There are safer legal alternatives available for those who feel the need for speed. Street racing, while thrilling, is not without its perils. What is the dark side of this adrenaline-fueled activity? As we delve deeper into the world of street racing, it's important to address the elephant in the room. The risks and consequences linked to this high-octane hobby are severe. And they're not just limited to the drivers themselves. Street racing, by its very nature, is an illegal activity. The law doesn't look kindly upon those who turn public roads into their personal racetracks. If caught, street racers can face hefty fines, license suspension, and in some cases, even jail time. It's a high-stakes game, and the price of losing is far more than just pride or a blown engine. But the legal ramifications are just the tip of the iceberg. The real issue lies in the danger it poses to the racers and innocent bystanders. Street racing often takes place on busy roads, in conditions far from ideal for high-speed driving. The result? A significant number of accidents, many of which end in fatalities. The grim statistics tell a story of shattered lives and lost potential. Every year, countless individuals find their lives cut short or irrevocably altered due to street racing incidents. It's a sobering reminder that the thrill of speed can come at a devastating cost. Yet, it's not all doom and gloom. There are alternatives to illegal street racing that offer the same adrenaline rush, but in a controlled, safer environment. Legal racing events and tracks provide car enthusiasts a space to test their skills and push their vehicles to the limit, without putting themselves or others in danger. These legal avenues not only promote safety but also foster a sense of community among car enthusiasts. They prove that the thrill of racing doesn't have to come at the expense of safety or legality. Street racing, while an integral part of car culture, has its downsides. Remember, the need for speed should never outweigh the value of safety. The allure of street racing is undeniable, but it's crucial to remember that the real race is about making it home safely at the end of the day. We've taken a journey through the evolution of street racing in America. What have we learned? From humble beginnings, street racing in America has grown into a phenomenon that's both admired and admonished. We've seen how it all began, with the post-World War II era, when car enthusiasts started modifying their vehicles and racing them on public roads. This was the birth of street racing in America, a time when the thrill of speed and the love for cars brought people together. Then we traveled to the golden era of street racing. The 60s and 70s were a time of muscle cars and pure horsepower. Street racing was not just a hobby, it was a lifestyle. This was when street racing started to gain mainstream attention, but with that came the first glimpses of the dark side as well. As we moved into the modern era, we saw how technology transformed street racing. Today, racers are not just tinkering with engines, they're tuning software, creating faster and more powerful machines. But as the cars got faster, the risks grew higher. The modern era of street racing brought with it a new set of challenges and dangers. We've also looked into the darker aspects of street racing. While the adrenaline rush and the camaraderie are part of the allure, street racing has a dangerous side. We've seen the tragic accidents, the legal consequences, and the lives that have been forever changed. Reflecting on this journey, it's clear that street racing has had a profound impact on car culture. It has driven innovation and brought people together. But it has also brought pain and loss. The evolution of street racing in America tells us a story of passion, creativity, and risk. A story that's as thrilling as it is sobering. Street racing in America has a rich and thrilling history, but it's a history that reminds us to prioritize safety and legality above all else.